Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you point on Nadal where he touched you? How are we? Just open the chat up. I didn't do that earlier, obviously. Being the tit that I am. The chat is ready to display messages now. Steve, how you doing, mate? How's things? Let's be having you. Very delia. Great stuff. Mandy, how you doing? How are we all getting on? Is everything fantastic? Yeah, it's all been a bit of a weird day, this one. In fact, it's been a weird couple of days, to be honest with you. Very weird. Despite having loads of sleep, proper lie-ins, I still felt tired, a bit low on energy, a bit low on motivation as well. Which is not like me at all. Normally it lasts about 20 seconds and then I wake myself up. So behave yourself, dickhead. But now, the last couple of days, it's gone on. So I need to get out of this completely. Which hopefully I will do. It's one of the benefits of doing these chats. I can proper chill. I like that. Man, you can't work out why you've got to go back out and in again. No idea. I have no idea. Can't help you with that one, I'm afraid. It'll be some technical shite, won't it? It normally is, isn't it? You had to fast forward 40 seconds to catch up. You missed all the good stuff, all the best bits. Oh, hello. You're appearing on the screen anyway, so Botrix must have joined the chat somewhere along the line. But he hasn't decided to tell us. How bad's that? How is it Sunday already? How on earth is it already Sunday? This time last week it was New Year's Eve. Now it feels as though 2024 is about 6 months old already. It's so strange. Mind you, lots has happened, I suppose, hasn't it? Bot hasn't said hello. But Bot has started throwing stuff up on the screen. So you would think that they have correctly joined the channel. Try typing in Botrix and see whether or not it appears. Oh, might have to log in yet again. See if it jumps up any second now. No, Steve, not over that red card yet. It's an absolute disgrace. They are ruining football. That referee and the VAR referee, Craig Pawson, absolutely despise Everton for some reason. Every time they get an opportunity to shaft us, they do. And they seem to love it. Fucking scumbags. See? Corrupt. Completely corrupt. The big teams get the decisions. The fair play is designed specifically to keep the big six where they are at the top of the table and to stop anyone else having any kind of chance of catching up with them. Which I'm sure the Saudi mob up in Newcastle will soon realise. Doesn't matter how rich they think they are, the club isn't rich, the owners are. And the club will not be allowed to join the big six because it is a closed cartel. Steve, without the VAR, it's been fairly nice this weekend. I thought Sunday Newcastle was just an absolute wankfest. Going on about how fantastic the ambience was and the crowd, and it was silent for huge stretches of it. You don't need to do that. You don't need to push it any higher than it is. You know, it's already a big derby. Just get on with it. Naughty Botrix, yeah. Jeff must be doing something to them because they always jump in, don't they? And they must be working because look, you're on the screen. Nudge, 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 Mandy, nudge. Saf, salutations. What news from South Africa, comrade? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Botrix. It's plays by its own rules, and that's without Jeff getting involved. You know what I mean? So there's something not quite right. I don't even know if all the buttons are going to work because I didn't even test them earlier on. I was just running around like a dick, trying to sort some stuff out. Seems that this is the weekend for people to try and make my life as difficult as possible. But there you go. At least there's a couple of episodes of Red Dwarf on tonight, and my daughter needs a lift in the morning to take her to placement. She's in placement all week, so I get to see her all week long, twice a day. How wonderfully exciting is that? Brilliant. Safia, Cameron Dawson saved 2 penalties in 3 minutes. And you won 4-0, and you shouldn't have won at all, to be honest. That you owe that goalkeeper an absolute, I don't know, the biggest pint you can possibly have. He was incredible. I watched the highlights earlier. How you didn't get beat, I will never know. Obviously, saving 2 penalties helps, but you know. But you are into round 4. Good stuff. Mandy, are you getting points for this? Let me just refresh and see if there are any other points. Possibly, I don't know. Honestly don't know. You should be. If it wasn't working, it wouldn't be on the screen, I think, in theory. I do love Taxi Dadding. I had 2 yesterday as well when I was feeling a little bit low. And was it yesterday or the day before? And just 10 minutes was enough to give me a boost. I was like, yeah, you know what? Stop feeling sorry for yourself, you absolute knob, you know. You're fairly healthy, almost. And you've got a boss kid. What more can you ask for? Apart from 6 numbers on the lottery, obviously. But that's not happening either. Yeah, Danny Roll deserves the biggest drink. He's done fantastic there, hasn't he? I heard the fans singing his name at the weekend. Was it at the weekend? No, it wasn't. It was the game against Hull. I watched that as well. That was on live on TV. Yeah. The fans seem to like him, and he's got them playing decent football. So, good stuff. I like Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah, capitalism. I want to be a rich Marxist. That's the thing, though. If I won all that money on the lottery, I would help so many people. It wouldn't go offshore. It would be spent in the local community as much as possible. Because people need it badly at the moment. Saf, you were also on Twitch. Lovely to see. I'll soon be world famous in our street. There you go. I am too. Says me on Twitch. It's working, like, so, yeah. No one's watching, but it is working. No local footy till the end of February. Amateur footy's played in winter there. Sounds a lot like us, although it's really cold the last couple of days, so I can imagine that loads of games were called off. Because despite the fact that the Premier League is the richest league on earth, there's not a lot of that money trickles down to grassroots. And it's just ended up being a bit of a cartel, an opportunity for landowners to make a bit of money. It's stupid. Where's the next generation of footballers going to come from if there's no grassroots football? If the kids can't play, not everyone's good enough to get into the academies, but not everyone's sort of piss poor. Loads of them end up going on to play professionally as well. My dad wasn't in an academy. He ended up playing like Sunday League in Garston in Liverpool, and ended up signing for Wrexham on the back of it. So you need to have decent amateur football. You need to have decent amateur sport. Every sport needs to have a good amateur, a wellspring of people coming through. Otherwise, where'd you go? Long-term pains for short-term gains, man. Mandy, you've got me on the telly as well. Don't know if it helps. It might help. It can't hinder. Plus, you'll be able to see the whatever turns up on the screen later a bit better as well, won't you? Any pictures or haikus and things should be more visible on the TV rather than on a tablet or a phone, so it will help. It'll help you if nothing else. Thermos. Very, very hot yet again. And don't forget, if you do like a coffee, our friend Adam at Charcoal Coffee Company, make sure you get on it. The link is in the description below there. If you're in the UK, it's fantastic stuff. Right, your African champs, women's African champs and World Cup knockout round players, yeah? You don't even have a pro women's league. It's difficult to get a pro women's league anywhere in the world, to be honest. It's massive in the States. And it works wonders in the States because it's not seen as a major sport, or it wasn't seen as a major sport. So it allowed the women to explode because it's a fantastic sport to watch, obviously, we know that. And the women, obviously the US women's national team was getting 70 and 80,000 people watching them whenever they played at home, which is superb. But it is difficult to have them all around the world because there's just not enough interest. It is getting better. When you look at the Super League, Women's Super League in the UK, sorry, in England, not the UK, in England, it's still not hugely supported, but there's a lot more going than there used to be years ago. The standard's getting better as well, and it's on TV more, so it gives young girls something to aim for, and it gives people something different to go and watch. And you know, I don't see where the issue is with that. The issue I've got with it is it's not as good as men's football. Don't pretend it is. It really isn't. And that's the reason why it's not as popular. And as shown by the fact that a under 15s boy team beat the Australian women's national team heavily because lads of 14, 15 are just too strong and too quick and powerful. But enjoy it for what it is. It is getting better. The quality's getting better. The quality of the players is getting better as well. Bots in the chat just didn't say hello. Yep, very rude. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because I'm a Londoner. No, it's not. Maybe I had to log back in on Botrix despite the fact that it was already logged in. You know what it's like. Jeff's being a knob, isn't he? He's being an absolute thoroughbred throbber at the moment, is Jeff. I'm sure he's got something to do with it. But it is working. Steve, when you started playing Saturday football at 16, you had 3 divisions of about 16 teams in your local league. Now it's down to one league of about 12. It's ridiculous. They are just allowing it to die out. I know loads of pitches have been sold for houses and things. It's the national sport and it makes a fortune. When you think about all these footballers who are on £200,000-300,000 a week, when they get taxed heavily. It's good money going back into the economy. When's the next generation going to come from? It's definitely not going to be here, is it? Stupid. I know, man, it doesn't matter who's playing, you're not watching. But it's a massive sport. It is absolutely huge. And you'd think, if it's making that much money, and it's making billions and billions, you would try and foster that. If you were in the country where it's the biggest league on earth, or the most watched league on earth, the most money comes to it, you would try and push that and push it to make more money. No. They're trying to ensure that in about 10-15 years' time, it's just the game will be gone completely. Casper, how you doing, mate? Sorry to hear your news last night. Don't forget, we're all here for you, mate. Hope you're doing as well as you can be. Desiree Ellis, the South African women's coach of the year, once got fired from a job at a factory. Right, so they arrived home late from a game and she couldn't make it into work on time. That's stupid. You would think if that person worked for you, you would push the fact that women's coach of the year, we have that person working for us. We are proud to have her working for us. And if you arrive late, you arrive late. Cromer doesn't have a team anymore. They sold a pitch to build a new surgery. That's going to be the way with lots of places. Cromer's not exactly a small place either, is it? You know, that's the kind of town that should have a football team. Ridiculous. Barnesy, how you doing, mate? How's things? Hope you're doing well. No worries, Casper, mate. We're all here for you. And hopefully, the RDA being what it is, there should be people around about 24/7 somewhere in the world. There's always someone there. So I'm getting more notifications about things that I already know of. Yes, I know I'm live. I can actually see myself. It's crazy, isn't it? Oh, that was the days of being a player, right? Sorry. Yeah, different. It was a different world going back. Even just a few years ago, it was a different world. When my dad tells me about when he was playing, I think he was on £20 a week, and then during the summer it was £18 a week because there was no games, and he had to go and get a job working on a building site just to be able to make ends meet. And then nowadays, your kids are 17, turning up at the training ground in £100,000 cars and buying their mum and dad's houses and things. It's mad. Wage capping, it can't happen, obviously, because there's just too much power. Plus, if you cap the wages, where would the money go to? At the moment, it's the players who are earning the money. If it wasn't, the money would just go somewhere else, probably into a black hole. I know they're on stupid amounts of money, but it's an entertainment business. No one moans about Tom Cruise getting $30 million for a film where it's just acting. That's why I didn't like all that stuff from... when my dad was playing, there was no wage capping, just they wouldn't pay anymore. I know when he signed for Middlesbrough, his wage went up significantly, and when he went to Netherlands, signed for FC20, his wage went up significantly again. And he was on more than the average person in the street. But I think it was around about 4 times as much as the average man in the street. Whereas now it's ridiculous how much more. Yeah, just a lot of young talent disappear because the hunger is not there. My dad would have played for nothing because he enjoyed playing. The kids, I mean, some of them they sort of go on strike, don't they? I'm not playing unless I get this, unless I get that, unless I get this number, and um, I don't want to take my earrings out, stuff like that. You've got to abide by club rules. You've got to be on time. You've got to look smart. You've got to put the effort in. And then, no, it's all right. I've got my Range Rover. I've got my new house. Just down tools. Stupid. And you can sit in your big house when you've retired and have your big cars outside, but you haven't got any stories to tell. My dad never made. Well, he played in the top division in England and over in Holland. He's got stories to tell. Stories that when we're in the pub and he's telling people who he played against, who he played with, what happened on the pitch. Some of the stories about when he was in Japan or when he was in Scandinavia or Morocco and things. The great stories. Stories of having fights on the pitch with people and having a drink with them afterwards. These young kids won't have any of that whatsoever. It's just ridiculous. Sancho, yeah. I've never seen him have a decent game yet, to be honest. I don't get what all the hype is. He must be decent, otherwise people wouldn't have spent tens of millions on him. But yeah, Neymar, yeah, he's to be fair to Neymar, he's won loads, so he's not completely wasted it. But he could have been a lot better, or he could have done a lot more than he has. The best time was when he was at Barcelona, and he suddenly realised he was in a team with the best player the world's ever seen. He wasn't the big fish in that pond; someone else was. And he just kept his head down and played better than I've seen him play before. So that to me was a salutary lesson in what you need to do. How's your knitting getting on, Mandy? Sorry, I forgot to put the ball up again, didn't I? But I think too much too young. There's I think a few teams have brought in this thing, haven't they, where you're not allowed a massive car when you're 17. You're only allowed like an Al shit box, £1,000 banger or something, rather than going out and spending 100 grand on a Rolls Royce when you're 17. You've got to show a little bit of humility. It's what's missing in the game at the moment, humility. There's very little of it. Oh, hang on. Different world. My dad only missed out on that by a few years as well. Well, 7 years. The Premier League started in 1992. He retired in 1986. He missed out on the big money, but like I say, he's got stories. He's been to places that there's no way on earth I'd ever get to. You know what I mean? He's happy. Job Bellingham, yeah. He's a good player, him actually. He's nowhere near as good as Jude, obviously. But he'll make his own way in the game, and good to see him wearing his first name on the back of his shirt rather than his surname. Judge him on his own performances. And I think that works well. Rivaldo played in his 40s in the Angolan Premier League. Yeah, he's you can do that when his game was never about pace. It was all about smart, and you can do that in your 40s. Hell of a player, him. Yeah, Barnes. City coaching staff saying the money ruined the game. It has. Kids in the youth side wearing Rolexes. It's too much, far too early. They haven't earned it. Go out there and play on a wet Tuesday night in Stoke, as the phrase is. Go out there and prove you can do it. Yeah, exactly, Mandy. Yeah, your uncle was a boxer. Amir Khan's mentor. Amir's younger brother was a better boxer. The two of them boxed, didn't they? One for GB and one for Pakistan. Amir put the work in. That's the difference between someone who's got natural ability and someone who works hard at it. I mean, Amir Khan had natural ability, but he worked so hard to get where he was. Hallo, goedenavond. Ben je goed? Your dad's cousin's son played for and later managed AGF in Denmark. Yeah, it's decent that. It's a good level as well, isn't it? It's a bit crazy. Some of them stories are just mad what they can tell you, footballers, what they got up to. My dad played in Japan in 1980. Maradona was in the same tournament, and Middlesbrough ended up winning that particular tournament, which is bizarre. I think it was Argentinos Juniors. Maradona was playing for Espanyol, the Japanese national team, Middlesbrough, and a couple of other teams, and he ended up winning it, bizarrely. But he got to experience Japan in 1980, which was unlike anywhere else. He'd never been. No, a completely different language, alphabet, completely different culture. And he wouldn't have done that without football. And again, he was one of those where he wasn't the best in the world, he'll tell you that himself, but he wouldn't be told no. When someone said to him, "You'll never be a footballer," he went, "I'll show you," and he did. And the manager who said you'd never be a footballer, he played against him later on, and the fellow remembered and shook his hand and said, I'm glad you proved me wrong," which I thought was a lovely thing to do. But it is one of those things where if you've got the will to win and that will to carry on doing it, you'll go a long way. Boxers need to have that. If you haven't, it's the wrong game to be in, because you'll end up getting really badly hurt. Never made it to a pro, Saf, but what you got up to as amateurs was already wild. Yeah, imagine making it as a pro and having that extra money and being almost untouchable. Right. Boxing the name of Jerry Jones of Wigan, but he was Uncle Gerald from Rill. Right. No, Jerry Jones of Wigan, not the Jerry Jones of Wigan. Never heard of him. But anyone that gets in that ring, do you know what? Fair play to you. I wouldn't do it. I'd have loved to have done it when I was young. If I was starting off, I wouldn't have minded doing that, but it's a hard business to get into. No wonder they earn the big bucks. It's well deserved. When I'm moaning about sitting here at my desk working and no one's trying to punch me in the face while I do it. Know what I mean? Yes, before my time. Mandy, everything's before my time. I'm a youth. Fucking youth. Jeez. I was going to say I wish I was a youth. Actually, no, I don't. I don't think I'd like to be a youngster in this particular world nowadays. But yeah, boxing. Absolutely barbaric what happens to them. And then seeing some of them, when you have a look at what they go through in the ring, and you know, most boxers don't make decent money. They have to win a title and defend the title before they start making decent wedge. And some of them still don't get paid. There's Jarrell Miller, Big Baby Miller, who fought last week or the week before. He fought against Daniel Dubois. Now, Jarrell Miller got done a couple of times for steroid abuse, so he shouldn't be in the ring. But he is. And he was happy with being on an Eddie Hearn show because he got paid in time. Eddie Hearn seems to be decent when it comes to paying his boxers and the boxers who they're fighting against. So Jarrell Miller now would be quite happily fighting on every Eddie Hearn card that he can, because he knows he's going to get paid. When you can't guarantee the money coming in because someone's withholding it, and some of them promoters are horrible. Look at Don King, the famous promoter. When he was promoting Mike Tyson, Tyson was bringing in tens of millions per fight easily, and he was charging him £1,000 a week or something for towels. So it's only years later when he looked at it and goes, "You are ripping me off. No, it's all part of the service, but £1,000 a week to provide towels. Gobshite. No wonder they're annoyed. Never got why you'd play a sport where brain damage is a given. It's not necessarily a given, but you get it in football, you get it in rugby league. There's plenty of people at the moment who are struggling with dementia and things. A lot of it brought on by heading the ball or tackles to the head and boxing. If you're good enough at it, yeah, it is probably. I mean, my dad suffered with something called rubals. Years and years of heading a ball. When he first started playing, it was the old leather ball, real leather ball with no plastic coating on it. So when it was raining, it would soak up a lot of the moisture, the rain, and then when you headed it, it was twice as heavy as it was to begin with. If you do that for month after month after month, it's going to ruin your brain completely. You're probably better off getting punched in the face. At least you can deal with it, and you can see it coming better. You know it's going to happen. Steve O from Jackass tried to intentionally get cauliflower ear, but it kept healing normally, so he ended up giving up. I never knew that. Bizarre. Mind you, he is absolutely nuts, him, isn't he? Both are beyond you, Hadavi, yeah. I'd say the same for myself. It's another sport, rugby league, I'd love to have played, but again, watching them is just, I don't know how they do it. Do not know how they do it. It's like a 30 mile an hour head-on collision every time they tackle. No wonder they all seem to retire in their early 30s. A bit late to ask unless you know a medium. Yes, same here, Steve. Well, not 5XL, but double XL. Weighed myself earlier on, 15 stone 2. Must have lost a little bit. Don't know why, but there you go. Skeleton as well. Yeah, I can imagine that shakes the brain a lot. That's a stupid thing, that. Whose idea was it to go down the Cresta run on a tea tray? Crazy bastards. Yeah, the old leather cases, like button the wall. And if you were like me dad, you were a centre forward. It was constantly balls to the wing, crossed over, head. Badumtis, very, very, very right, yeah. That's just your right leg, Steve. Fair enough, mate. But 15 stone 2, which I think's, it's not bad actually. I could probably be alright dropping down a little bit more, but that'll probably happen in the summer, I think, when I can get out a bit more. Because it doesn't look as bad at the moment, but it was icy this morning, wasn't it? And then I spent most of the day on the sofa under me blanket, me fleece blanket, watching the telly and falling asleep every now and then. But I will get out a lot more, I think. And I will take that out as well. I don't know who mentioned it last time, but when I do my stroke walk and things like that, I'll throw the GoPro on the head and get some more video, because I quite like doing my stroke walk. Casper as well, I will get round to recording some more stuff in the next week or two. I'll put some of your music on it. Casper has very nicely sent me a load of music that I can use on my videos. And when I do, they'll be put up and be linked back to your YouTube channel, because this is the year we're going to make things better. The music absolutely fantastic as well. It's just I haven't had a chance to get out and do any driving or anything yet. It's just been little 5-10 minute trips here and there. That needs to change. In fact, I'm going out tomorrow. I've got to go to Ormskirk Hospital tomorrow, so I'll record it, I think. Yeah, I will. It'll be a similar kind of drive to the last couple I've put up. But to a slightly different place just round the corner, so should be another 20-25 minute trip there, same back. Hopefully that should look good. Purple and bluey green at Jeff's altar tonight. Yes, purple and it's supposed to be teal, isn't it? Which, yeah, I think it is actually teal. I like the mixture of them two. And I've got a massive tube above my head as well, but it doesn't seem to be working too well. So I might have to put that in the background as well, just in there somewhere. Might look alright. You were 16 till you started smoking again. Now just over 14. Yep. That will take the weight off you. It's I was just under 16 stone when I had the stroke, and I went down to 12 stone 10 while I was in hospital. Obviously, my legs just went to nothing. There was no muscle there at all, and then not drinking, eating 3 small meals every day, and the weight fell off me completely. It was being 6'4", 12 stone 10. It's too much. I looked like I'd just walked out of Auschwitz or something. It was not good. Obviously not remotely strong. I couldn't walk anyway. But now I'm walking around a lot more. I should be able to drop the little weight down a bit. But anything below 14.5 I think is going to be far worse. It's not going to be good for me. I know what my fighting weight is. Yeah, aging backwards, Barnes here. Shouldn't be smoking at 16. Looks more green on your tablet than on your TV. Strange. Because it is teal, so there's a greeny tint to it, but it's a greeny bluey tint. And it's also our corporate colours at work. How many kilos in a stone? It is 6 point something. It's £14 in a stone, isn't it? That's £2.2 per kilo, so it'll be 6.2, is it, or something? How many kg in a stone? 6.35 kilograms. So 15.2. I'm about 96, 97 kilos at the moment. I'm below 100. But then I am tall. So I can move between about 14 stone and 16 stone, and nobody knows the difference apart from maybe my face gets a little bit more chubby. But they can't really tell because I can carry it. Even though I'm not massively, I'm not huge muscles or anything, I am a lot bigger than I look on TV, so to speak. Yeah, we did pass the 18th century, but also it's a measurement we use because we still, it's something that we can't really move away from, that particular thing. We will eventually at some point, won't we? As we do with everything else. We still have miles as well rather than kilometres. We like the ancient stuff. Plus, if you tell someone you're 15 stone over there, they know what it is. If you tell them you're 94 kilos, they'll just look at you blank, like, what? What's that? 94 bags of sugar. Oh yeah, that must be heavy. A good way to aim for is your height in centimetres minus a metre. And you have the kg weight, that's within normal, is it? So I'm 1.93 metres. So 93 kilo, yeah, that sounds about right, to be honest. Yeah. That's good thinking. I like that, Casper. We have C miles. We do. Imperial super. Oh. Only beer and milk is measured in pints over there. Right. I know a pint is 500 is it 568 or 586 millilitres? 586, I think. 586 millilitres does not sound like a pint, and a pint is a pint, and there's nothing better. I think if the rest of the world started drinking beer in pints, they'd be much more happy. Yet you don't even measure pints in pints. You should do. Everyone likes a pint. And when people come to the UK and start drinking in pints, they love it. Swedes use Swedish miles, and that's 10 kilometres. Swedes are mad though, aren't they? I've got some Swedish mates, and they are all a little bit tapped. Must be all that driving over yumps. Well, that was it. I was going to say something the other day, actually, but no. I had another thing where I looked at going for a pint. I think it might have been Friday. Sure, it was Friday. I just dropped Jess off in town, and I was coming home, and I went past the pub where I used to drink, where I met my ex. It used to be home base for us in Southport Town Centre. And part of me just thought, I'd love to go in there now and have a pint. And then about a couple of seconds later, I thought, no, it's not the pint that I want. It's the company. I'd love to just go in and see my mates. None of them drinking there. But it's that going in and having a laugh with the lads. That's what I miss. It's not the alcohol. And I think at that point, that's when I realised that it's not the ale. That's where everyone meets, but it's not actually the ale that makes things important. It's the company. Obviously, if the company's shit, you need all the ale you can possibly get. Even if it's only 500ml of milk, it's a pint. Well, you're missing out, but yeah, I know what you mean. An American pint is only 475ml. Eesh. That's why they all reckon they're good drinkers. Then they come over here and they on the deck within seconds. I love that when I was watching there's a YouTube thing about YouTubers who went out of control, spiraled out of control, and there's a lad. He's got drinking problems. I think he really has got drinking problems. You think he's an alcoholic. Over here we think he's a fucking lightweight. That's what his problem is. Wouldn't last 5 minutes. Oh my God, he's so drunk. He's not. He's talking completely lucidly. He's just vomiting because he can't hold his ale. Absolute dick splash. Man, you've got no clue whether it's measured in. Ask you to guess weight, height or age, pass. Sound, man. Know what I mean? Doesn't matter, does it really? Doesn't really matter. Don't matter. You only recently saw a beer can advertised as a pint. It just looks the same as when it's 500ml or 330. Well, the 500ml is not far off a pint, but it's a proper size. You know what I mean? It's a pint's a pint. It's fantastic. Yeah, Steve, the problem you have when you're working on your own is the banter. I worked on building, not building sites as such, but working with a couple of builders, and we would laugh all day long. Again, just having a cup of tea out of a filthy cup, covered in shite, hair full of dust, laughing constantly. That's what I miss. It's not the alcohol at all. It's the company and the banter, definitely. Yes, Mandy, I could still do that. There's no law saying you have to drink alcohol. The pain in the arse that I've got is all my mates are in Liverpool, and I am 20 miles away. Which is, how much is that? 32 kilometres, I think. And then having to park somewhere and make sure everyone's out. But maybe at some point when I'm a bit better at getting out and a bit more, don't get as fatigued as often, I might then go and see them. A Fluitje is 200 millilitres and an Vaasje 250 millilitres. They're only little small things. That's a glass of wine, 250. A small glass of wine. Usually drink a Tulp, which is for special beers, and it's 330. 330 is the large wine. So yeah, that's a measure that we're used to drinking as well, but we're used to drinking wine out of that. Yeah, it looks a bit off. You only ever see the 500 and the 330 mils. A pint's a pint, man, it's boss. It's more fun to be sober and watch the descent into madness. No, it isn't. When you're sober and everyone else is drunk, that's a horrible, horrible situation. Because then you realise all the people that you thought were good fun are just absolute cockends, aren't they? What's that in fluid ounces? Yeah. If I'm not drinking, I can still drive. Yep. Wine is 100 to 125. That's a small one. A small wine is 125 ml here. A large one's 250. And then a proper full-on wine you can get is 330. 330, the same size as a beer, isn't it? Like you say, Saf. 330 cans, 500 and 750ml bottles. Oof. But yeah, I don't need it. It's the company. And you never know when I go back to being in work. I might end up going out to the pub on lunchtime with my mates again. Have a soft drink and just have a laugh with them. Might actually help. Drachia is lying on your right arm. That would explain a lot, Hadrich. Most wine over there is in a 3 litre bag. Yeah, that seems to happen over here as well quite a lot. 3 and 5, I think. There's a 10 litre bag as well. I'm sure you can get them. We used to have the big bags in the pub. So they buy a lot of box wine. We have a tendency we do buy more bottles than boxes. Which is funny. You can do the recycling of a morning and next door go, oh, did you have a party? No. Just a Tuesday night, normal Tuesday night. How do we have a rule to drink less than or no more than 1 glass of alcohol per week? That's fair enough if you can stick to that. I think that would be where the problem I've got is I couldn't do that. I was drinking a lot more than that, a hell of a lot more than that. But I wasn't getting falling over drunk. I wasn't missing days of work through it. I didn't have any issues, so I didn't see what the problem was until obviously it was too late. But that wasn't just alcohol, that was also food and stress and other things. Things that I should have probably taken more care of as well. But if it doesn't feel like it's a problem, you don't really take it in any notice, do you? And you should do. Give yourself a bit of not an MOT, a check. Give yourself a check now and then. You got the 1 litre boxes as well, like milk cartons. I've never seen one of them before, but that's an interesting one. Bottles are something you give away or have for a special occasion, right? Well, you can give bottles away. You don't really start handing boxes over to people, do you? Yeah, so in Netherlands, there's no such thing as boxed wine, really. Everyone buys bottles. Yeah. This all depends on where you're from and what the sort of the local custom is, isn't it? Most people buy bottles here, but there are boxes sold. That's normally if you're having a party and you don't know what wine people are drinking, buy a box of white, a box of red, leave them there. And then fill the fridge up with beer. It all depends on how big the glass is, of course. If it's a 750 milliliter glass, then you can fill a full bottle of wine in it. Your dad could easily do 70 units in a weekend. One of his wives used to count. Jeez. To be honest, I think I could do 70 units in a weekend as well. Often done when at the match. You used to drink 5 or even more glasses in the weekend when you were young. I think the UK must be classed as one of the most alcoholic countries on earth. And I know us, the Irish, the Russians, the Poles, and some of the other Eastern Europeans, we drink a hell of a lot more than that. 70 units, yeah, that's in a weekend, say 35 a day. Yeah, could easily do that as well. Which is why it's not good for you, man. Yeah, you went into healthcare and saw the effects. That does change things. See, if you're told by a doctor that 2 cans of beer every day would class you as an alcoholic. Mad that, innit? Yeah, it shouldn't be. I mean, 2 cans, jeez, that's nothing for someone who's huge as well, is it? You won't even feel it. Oh, your dad was only 72 kilos and 176. That's a fair amount for not a huge lad. If you read the bottle label stuff, you'll get tipsy. That more than 4 glasses for a woman or more than 5 glasses for a man is considered binge drinking. It's just, I think it's mad that. Binge drinking, what we see as binge drinking is going out and getting absolutely smashed over the weekend. You don't drink during the week and then go out and absolutely cane it to the point where you can't remember anything for the next 2 days. Crazy. Yeah, that's a cheap date. Just show them the label. Yeah, it's like I was drinking a hell of a lot more than that. I don't think I was addicted to it as much as relying on it, if that makes any sense. I wasn't waking up of a morning thinking about when my first drink was going to be. Didn't go to bed of a night thinking about it. Didn't dream about where my next glass of wine was coming from. It was just get home, bored, I'll have a glass of wine, and then that turned into a lot more. Crazy. Yeah, the recommended max intake of 14 units for women and 21 for men a week. I think that's the same as us in the UK. That's the recommended. And I spoke about that with someone from the stroke unit about alcohol, and they mentioned that there's not a problem drinking, just don't do it to excess. So, well, yeah, I don't really need to. If I don't need to, I won't. If I don't need to. No one needs to. If I don't want to, I don't see the point of getting back into it. So I'll just carry on going. The recommended max intake is 0. I don't think that will be allowed in the UK because they make too much money on the back of it. Kirsty mentioning Brookside. Know what I mean? 1 glass a day already significantly increases the risk of breast cancer. Does it? I mean, it's bizarre as well. Keep getting told alcohol's bad for you, and then the next thing comes out, red wine's great for you. And then it's not bad for you, then it's bad for you again. And this is what I hate about modern society. There's always someone with an agenda who's trying to push their idea. So if it's bad for you, but you've got someone saying, oh no, it's alright, it's actually quite healthy for the heart. And then you find out they're taking money from the wine lobby or something. So, well, how can I believe what anyone says if they're all saying different things? I hate that. This is what, the science tells us. This is what checking people out after year after year after year of drinking shows us. And this is what you need to go on. But we'll never have that, will we? Right, so 2 glasses a day already increases the chance of mouth, throat and esophagus cancer. I didn't know that. The red wine story is told by cardiologists, not by the oncologists. Yeah, so that's one of them. When they're saying to you it's healthy for you, and then someone else is saying it's not, can't they meet up and say, right, is this healthy or not? Well, no, it's not, because it might be good for your heart, but it's causing this, and this. We never ever get given the correct advice. There's always some kind of vested interest behind there, and I hate that. It's 2024, isn't it? And we're still getting all that misinformation. It's terrible. There's no need for it, la. Just keeping an eye on my phone, 'cause I'm expecting messages as well, with all kinds of mad stuff going on. Right, so the good for your heart story is debunked as well, but people like to repeat it. So that's coming from the wine lobbyists or people within that particular trade, that business, who want to keep on selling their wares. I suppose everything that we take is bad for us, but we'll never know what the actual real story is unless someone gets out there and says, no, this is where the evidence is, this is exactly how it affects you. But no, we'll have someone saying that and then someone else going, oh no, here's our research, this shows us that it's good for you. But can tell us which one it is. Money. That's what it's all about money. Lobbyists. I hate lobbyists. Can't believe that COP28, the amount of fossil fuel lobbyists that were allowed there. It's supposed to be to save the planet, and it's just full of people trying to sell more and more fossil fuel. Don't allow them in. Ban them, kick them out. Bellends. All I know about alcohol is it's a great chisel for social awkwardness, and when it's gone and you're over that first couple of weeks of I miss going for a pint, you don't really miss it too much at all. You know what I mean? I've seen friends on Blue Sky and on Twitter who are trying to do dry January, and some are saying I'm going to try and give up until April, May, June, whatever it is, to get beach ready for my holiday. I think, well, it might be hard to begin with, but the longer you go, the easier it becomes, because you get out of the habit, which I think is the same with most things. Once you crack that little bit of the habit, it does become easy. You don't miss it as much, unless you've got a serious problem. You know, it was, Steve, it was in the Middle East, but at the same point, wasn't it supposed to be able to... the whole point of COP28 was to talk about reducing our reliance on fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are finite. They're not going to be around forever. And we need to find a way to get around that, because once they're gone, they're gone. You know, something has to change. It's not just that the planet's burning into a crisp. Something needs to change. We need to find a way of, in the future, this won't be available. How do we generate the electricity that we are now ultra reliant on? But they're still there going, keep on buying this, keep on buying that. Brilliant. We'll up our fuel consumption, and then it'll be gone quicker, and then we'll have nothing to fall back on at all. Just, again, long-term pains for short-term gains. Stupid. Yep, had a week, didn't drink for 3 years when you were pregnant and breastfeeding. You don't miss it. It's you might do it at the start if it's something that you are so used to, but the longer it goes on, the less you miss it. And I've just done over a year. Done my first calendar year in over 3 decades, where the whole of 2023 I did not touch a single drop of alcohol, and it wasn't difficult. I know I took it to extremes, having a fucking stroke to be able to get to that position, but it wasn't like I was sat around in the house of a night thinking, oh, I could really do with a wine or a pint or something. It's not. I was having a cup of tea, watching the telly, and not missing it. Again, this helps, and doing the YouTube videos really helped, because it gave me something to concentrate on, and I'm getting the social interaction that I probably do really miss by doing the live streams. But the actual, I don't even know. I drink me alcohol-free red wine, but I don't know if I had an actual glass of wine, would I like it? Would I like the taste? Or would I suddenly just think, fuck that, no, not touching that again? And again, I'm not really in any kind of rush to find out. Like having a Save the Whale conference in Tokyo. That's one of the best places to have it though, isn't it? While you're there, if you want to send all your people with the harpoons, we'll just go and take them off them at reception. World needs fixing, man. All right, man. They've detected aliens. Have they? Where? What kind of aliens? Where are they? Let's have a guess. The Bible Belt in the US? Is that where they've detected them? Over 8 billion people on Earth. A massive globe. Aliens only ever land in the deep south of America. It's bizarre. You never see UFOs. I mean, Saf, you might tell us. Never see aliens landing in Africa, do you? Or do they land and get eaten by lions and hyenas and things? Is that what happens? Is that why you don't hear about them? It's bizarre. Why is it always the deep south of America? The place where they make moonshine. Bizarre. There will be aliens out there, won't there? Come on, let's face it. Or there'll be some kind of life out there because it stands to reason, mathematically, statistically speaking, there has to be life out there. There's just too many stars with planets around them not to have other life. Yeah, the Clipper mission to explore Europa. That's going to be fantastic, that. Europa looks a very, very interesting moon. District 9 was set in South Africa, wasn't it? I'd never seen District 9. But, yeah, why is it aliens only ever land in the deep south of the US and end up getting probed? P.O. Box Konig, what? Is that supposed to be coming soon? Send me the souls of your firstborn and pot noodles. That is absolutely evil. Absolutely evil, Jeff. Why would you want pot noodles? The aliens are in Mexico, if you remember correctly, according to a news article. Is that Mexico where they have tequila and mezcal and things like that? There's a correlation here, I'm sure. Or there's a map depicting concentration of alien sightings versus the concentration of rednecks. I think that's going to be a little bit of a just identical, isn't it, really? They've discovered an element on a planet that's only produced by living things. Yep. That wouldn't surprise me. 200 million billion stars in our galaxy, and 1 in 10 are estimated to have planets in the Goldilocks zone. Never mind the Goldilocks. See, I knew I'd call this stream right. District 9's a good film, is it? Ah. Kirsty, you've got no smoke. Are you just glad you don't live in a place where you risk being abducted and probed? Well, actually, Wigan was mentioned earlier on. Don't go to Wigan either. Nights out in Wigan, plenty of women have been abducted and probed. Not necessarily abducted, but, you know, bought a couple of bottles of Blue Wicked or Malibu Reef and off they go. Jeff was just there, wasn't he? Let's have a look. Check out some Tales from the Crypt with Jeff. Oh, hello. He was there, was he? Lee Harvey Oswald getting shot, and there's Jeff in the background. Didn't realise that. Oh, and he was there on the Apollo landings. He's got about a bit, our Jeff, hasn't he? And there he is, holding up Bobby Moore winning the World Cup. Why have we seen all these pictures and never seen Jeff in there? How does this work? Maybe he's hidden in plain sight. That's what it is. You only notice Jeff when you look for Jeff. When you're not looking for him, he just melts into the background. Yeah, they're all too far away. There may be intelligent life in the universe, but how do they guarantee to come that they're ahead of what we are? There could be intelligent life and be just about discovering the wheel. So I don't know. Steve says you can't make a tractor beam strong enough to pick you up, but they can make a tractor big enough to pick you up and strong enough to pick you up. Plenty of them around Norfolk. Big old Massey Ferguson. How do we? You've been there at Wigan? Oh man, it's a fantastic place. It's the land that time forgot. Jeff was making the flag move on the moon. Jeff was there. It was one small leap for man, one Jeff leap for mankind. That's what he says, but it went crackly, didn't it? One Jeff leap for mankind. And he didn't even need a spacesuit, which means he can breathe on the moon. I worry about Jeff. Yeah, it's probably more likely than we think, but it's still. At what point will they turn up? Will someone turn up, and will we know? Are they going to have technology way beyond what we've got? And we are quite technologically advanced. Are they going to be further advanced than us? Are they going to be evil? Will they still probe? Why did he probe all the time? Why is it that a thing? Why don't they come down, land in Africa and just speak to someone? What is your life like? Why is it like right up the hoop? No good. Wigan is famous for a pie, as is St Helens, and they have this big argument over who's got the best pies. Steve, I will speak for me, and probably for yourself with this. Us big lads like a pie. If you're ever in the northwest, go to Wigan, go to St Helens. You can't go wrong with the pies. They are fantastic. Yeah, Barnsley, they are the pie eaters, aren't they? I like Wigan though. There's something a little bit. There's a bit sort of 1980s dancing around your handbag about the entire town. I quite like that. You were told that for a town or a region to be considered good, it has to have a decent beer and a decent football team. It is completely true. If it hasn't, what's the point in going there? Decent beer, decent football, and if you can, a decent pie as well. Yeah, chances increase a lot. They currently discover 3 exoplanets a day. Proxima Centauri isn't that far away in cosmological terms, but it is in actually getting there. You know what I mean? Yeah, you think if you could make an intersolar spaceship that have invented MRIs where you don't need to be probed, maybe they've got all that but just a little bit kinky. Has anyone ever thought of that? These little green men with big eyes. Maybe the big eyes come from the fact that they're always probing each other. I mean, my eyes would be out like that if you're getting probed constantly. Saf, yes. What if aliens are already arrived, saw the mess we created and just fucked off? I think they probably have done. Probably come down and thought, this looks like a fantastic place to come and have a wander around and see where they're up to in there. Oh my God, what are they doing? What are they doing? Off. Steve definitely ate all the pies, mate. You would love it. The pies are fantastic, and I want a pie now. How bad's that? Never mind alcohol. Never mind anything like that. I want a pie. I don't know what the main pie is in Wigan, what the company is. I know in St Helens it's Pimlick's, isn't it? Pimlick's pies. Because I've got a mate, one of my first bosses in Argaff is from St Helens. And he always goes on about Pimlick pies being the best in the world and Wigan being shite. He's also a big Man City fan. And I was buzzing when they won the league the first time round under Pep, because he'd been there through thin and thin, and finally they were winning stuff, and he deserved it. Good lad in. Yeah, no decent towns in the US. I like the joke that Monty Python used to come out with about American beer. It's like making love in a canoe. It's fucking close to water. We can say that, well, we can't in England, but our beer's all right. Some of the beers, but it's not going to be the same as Grolsch or Amstel. Proper Dutch beer. Gooseberry pies are the best. Right. This is not the kind of pie we're talking about. Those are fruit pies. We're talking about meat pies, savoury ones, steak and kidney pies, and meat and potato pies. Proper big, thick, chunky, stick to your ribs kind of pies. The ones that when you're at the match and you're cold, have one of them and you're all right. We used to have scouse pies at Goodison, which is just a pie with scouse in it. Oh, they were fit. And then chicken tikka pies as well. Nice. South Africa, you don't have regional beers, but you have regional food. Is a Castle the main beer over there? Is a pie with no lid still a pie? No, it's a tart. No discussion. I'm just telling you now, right? Foot down, firm hand, done. You got Zundert and La Trappe. I've heard La Trappe and the Zundert before them. I like me Dutch beer, I must admit. I like I liked a bit of Grolsch as well, even though I couldn't drink while I was over there. I did have a few of them over the years. Durban as the Bunny Chow, Cape Town as the Gatsby, and Joburg as the AK-47. What is a Scouse pie? Saf, Liverpool has its, we're called Scousers. Because we eat, and Casper will say the same thing about a dish called lobscouse or lapscouse in parts of Scandinavia, which is like a lamb stew with potatoes and carrots, onion, barley and things like that in it. Really, really thick, heavy winter stew. And then you can have a pie with that in it, and it's just, oh man. On a cold day at the match, you can't go wrong with that. Castle Lager and Carlin Black Label are the main ones. Carlin Black Label, I think the brewed in Burton, isn't it? Over here, Burton-on-Trent. Both are Trappist, right. Castle, our mate from South Africa used to bring Castle. He brought biltong as well, and nobody would get involved because they were all disgusted by it, which I don't care. So I've just missed a couple of messages there, haven't I? Have a quick look. Bloody hell. Helen made an apple crumble today. Now you are talking. What did you have with it, Steve? Apple crumble. Love apple crumble. Brandt and Hertogian have good beers too. Oh. I haven't had a beer in ages. Not even me Beck's Blue. I think I might have a couple of them left in the fridge. Don't know whether to have one or not. I've still got alcohol-free red wine. I've also got alcohol-free Tanqueray gin, and I've got tonic, and I've got frozen blueberries that I can throw in it. So I might have one of them tomorrow rather than today. Mandy, I haven't had a crumble for years. Is that the food or just haven't crumbled in years? It does sound lush, I must admit. Did you have custard with it or ice cream? Rouse and Lindbaum. No, custard. Very, very nice. More crumble than apple. You like the crunchy bits. They've got the alcohol free too. Ooh. I'm going to have to look into this. I'm going to have to expand my palate, I think. It's quite nice on a really hot day. which I know the UK doesn't get stupidly hot, but when you live in a house which traps in as much heat as possible during the summer, it does get warm. Being able to have a freezing cold beer is nice. Le Trap Nilis is a good alcohol free. Oh, I wonder if you can get that over here. Let's have a look. Shopping, shopping, shopping. Well, it's not coming up with anything, but I'll have a look for that. Definitely have a look for that. Don't mind having a try. Mandy, you don't do custard, but mint choc chip ice cream. Yeah, mint choc chip is gorgeous. I'm not sure it's going to go well on apple crumble, to be honest. Yeah, Barnsley, same thing. I think you're better off having it on its own. Skipper Lapscos, you haven't had that in school, heavy and cheap. That was the whole point of it. In very, very cheap, or places where people couldn't afford to spend a lot of money on food, you could make something really cheap. The cheapest bit of lamb. If you cook it really slowly and add in loads of potatoes and carrots and things, you can make it go a long, long way and it could feed a lot of people. If you have a good pan of scouse, it really can fill you. Me, Mum and Dad had scouse tonight. Funnily enough, I didn't want any, but on a cold night you can't beat it. Bit of red cabbage, fantastic. You only really get the Bavaria alcohol-free beer there. You've had it on occasion. Yeah, it's there's loads now. The best one I've had so far, the one I like the most, is the Beck's Blue, because it actually tastes like Beck's. Some of the other ones have got a strange aftertaste, which doesn't work for me. And I know probably people are thinking it's like having methadone. It's not. It's getting me through all this, so I'm quite happy to carry on doing that. The alcohol free. Maybe. Oh, by the way, Wednesday is going to be the next stream, not Tuesday. I am going to a Sunday, Wednesday, continuously because I need more time in between. So maybe on Wednesday you might see me with a gin and tonic. We shall see. Right, so it's not a Welsh thing, it's more a Mandy thing. Taste, isn't it? I know some people will eat bizarre stuff that no one else will look at twice, but if you like it, you like it. It's all food after all, isn't it? It's there to keep you alive. Apple crumble, yeah. I like apple crumble, red hot apple crumble with ice cream over the top of it, vanilla ice cream. I think the mint's just a bit too much of a flavour in itself. How do we hear up? 10 minutes away from the Bavaria Brewery. Very nice. I know we weren't too far away from the Grolsch Brewery in Enschede. To the point where the milkman would drop off crates of Grolsch in the morning, along with your milk and your flour and yogurts and what have you. You could hear them, that ding 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 going down the road, and you look outside and think, what on earth are they doing? Massive big bottles of Grolsch in the barn. Lapscouse is the kind of stew where you could easily get rid of the last caretaker in what they served us in school. Might have even improved it. It's a fantastic thing, and I think most places in the UK have their own variant on it. You've got hot pot in Lancashire, Irish stew, all these own little add a bit, take a bit out. But it's because we have been a very poor country. And anywhere where you've got a port with loads of people passing through, these recipes will get handed down. And it will have come to Liverpool from Germanic or Scandinavian sailors, and that's where Scouse has come from, and it's forever tied with the city of Liverpool now. And all the more for it. Don't mind it at all. Stew and Norfolk dumplings, there you go. Same thing. And it is the kind of thing where if you've got limited money, just go and buy the cheapest bit of lamb or whatever it is, cook it for hour after hour after hour, throw in loads of potatoes, and then that's going to feed your entire family. And it'll be very filling, nutritious. You can go to work on it. You can come home from a freezing day on the farm, or working on the docks, and that will fill you up and you'll be sound. Working in the flint mines, wherever you're working. Kirsty, now you want apple crumble and ice cream, but you've got none. This is where Deliveroo, Just Eat, there's got to be someone doing late night desserts for people who are stoned or drunk or who are just hanging around on streams. Yeah, a lot of the traditional Cape Malay cooking style, it is housewives having to create magic with what little they had. It is exactly the same. When money is very, very limited and you've got a big family, how do you make sure that one little bit of meat gets, distributed with everyone? It's making sure it's cut up into chunks. Everyone gets a bit. Everyone gets a big hearty meal. So it is. You've got to. It's the mother of invention. Necessity is the mother of invention, as they say. You have stamp pot and zuurvlees. That'll be something similar, I think, wouldn't it? All the stuff that's on farms, in ports, farming communities. Everyone will have their own little recipes, and it's all the same. It's all about trying to feed as many of your family as well as you can for as little as possible. And it's good that we're now in a society where there's more money available, but these things are still traditional to the point where you're having them. It's fantastic. Oh, are you a Norfolk dumpling, Steve? No, he's not. He's our Steve. Might be from Norfolk. He's no dumpling. Tater ash, yep. That's the way things should be as well. Yeah, like extending the sauce and adding a little sago. Yep. It's just making the best of what you've got. And when you haven't got a lot and everyone needs some of it, do what you can to feed your family. Yeah, how do we hear your grandparents were pig farmers? Every part of the pig would be eaten in some way. That's making sure you proper look after them. Have respect for the animals that you keep. If you're going to slaughter one of them, don't throw all of it away. Make sure you use every last bit of it, or keep hold of it. It's either alive or it's used completely. The way it should be. Then you just catch tons of L, smoke them and sell them. All right. Potato ash is what happens when you cook potatoes in a bonfire. Ovs, totes, ovs. Yeah, you hate it as out. Yeah, it's just it's mad food nowadays, isn't it? Eel, yeah. Eel's quite big in the UK, isn't it? Down south, London, it's a massive thing. Eel. I think it was a programme, an episode of Coast where they were down south, and they absolutely love eels. It's not something that I remember being overly popular up north. Tater ash, that's a Manchester dish, isn't it? I've heard that mentioned a few times. Not exactly sure what's in it, but everyone's got their own little version. Eel is endangered there. That'll be all the cockneys eating it. That's why. And now all I can hear in my head is Eels, the song from The Mighty Boosh. How do you start a pudding race? Say go. Oh my word. Is it worth one? That was worth a dad joke, that, Mandy. Right, so there's a strong quotum on it, right? So you've got to make sure that you don't overfish them. Jellied eel is mentioned quite a lot in Only Fools and Horses because it's a huge East and South London kind of thing, a tradition. Pie and mash and eel, jellied eels and things like that. It's eaten a lot more than anywhere else. Corned beef, taters and veg if you got any in a stew. Right, yeah. Sounds good to me, that, mate. Sounds good to me. No, Mandy, don't put down the tea, Maria. Keep drinking it if you're going to come up with dad jokes because it takes the pressure off me. You can't catch eel anymore there. Right, so it's going to be an endangered species in Europe if we're not careful. Whereas the Cockneys are absolutely hammering it. It was a screamer, that Saf. It was. Back of the net. Corned beef stew. Again, the recipe will be virtually the same, but just moved around the country, here, there, and everywhere. Anything that's filling, very, very filling, that you can make cheaply. And if you've got anything like that, I know with scouse anyway, if you cook it and it's not completely eaten that day, the following day it tastes 100 times better because it's all the flavours have been given time to mix together and But I've got to be in the mood to eat stuff like that. And I wasn't today. I wanted something light. So I ate a bulb. "30 years ago, you'd catch eels from the sea. You don't think you've seen an eel caught for 10 years. So obviously that's something that we need to watch out for. Overfished? Are they being overly predated? Are they ill? What's happening with them? Yeah, it doesn't sound anywhere near as exotic, Mandy. Rename it. Make sure you rename it. Get it right. Do it right or do it shite. Get it right. You haven't even picked up the tea, Maria, yet. Oof. Dad jokes without the tea, Maria. What have we done to you? What have we done to you? No tea, Maria, and you're still making dad jokes. Terrible. You've never eaten eel. I haven't either. It's never really appealed to me, but I'm a bit weird with fish anyway. I don't eat a lot of fish. They once in the 1960s put 15 musk ox in one place in Greenland, and now they've got close to 10,000 in that area. Beautiful beasts, beats an eel any day, it does. Barbecued musk ox sounds much better than jellied eels to me. Eel tastes amazing, and you're not a fish guy, big fish guy rather. Yeah, that's maybe one day I'll have to try it, but I don't know. Doesn't appeal to me at all. You saw the musk ox in Norway. They were very far away. You could only visit with the guide. They're massive as well, aren't they? Big, just huge, chunky, muscly, big bastards. I seen them on that BBC programme about wolves in the Arctic Circle, I think it was in Canada. These wolves were taking on muskox and they're getting thrown everywhere, and these wolves would not give in. They got one where it was exhausted after the fight, this ox, and just ended up bringing it down and eating it, but man, that was one absolute lunatic of an animal. All eels swim back to the Sargasso Sea, to mate, and then you come back across the Atlantic. That is a fact, a veritable fact, a verified fact. Crazy, but they do. So we need to keep an eye on these things and make sure they don't die out completely. Once you take one little thing out, and then all of a sudden the whole thing collapses like a house of cards. They looked a bit like viscents, but smaller and hairier. They're still massive though, aren't they? An amazing coat of wool. Yeah, that's why they can withstand stupidly cold temperatures. It is fascinating, definitely. Yes. Were they small or far away? I love that Father Ted episode. Mind you, I love them all, to be honest. Did I tell you I saw Arlo Hanlon live doing his stand-up in Liverpool? He was absolutely superb as well. You'd just think it was Father Dougal, but actually quite intelligent. They can't exactly prove how and what the eel does most of the time. Yes, because they're slippery bastards. Eels are very discriminatory against the southern hemisphere. They are. Proper Narvan. Eels are very Narvan. And you can't farm them either, no? If you have to go back to the Sargasso Sea, you won't be able to farm them. They'll have to... Their instincts will tell them they have to go somewhere before they can mate. Viscents, or European bisons. Bloody big things. All those things are crazy, aren't they? Buffaloes, bisons, oxen. Just absolutely massive. That sitcom he did doesn't show up very often. Which one? Because he's done a couple of them, hasn't he? My Hero is one of them that's just started to come back on the telly. Yeah, Graham Linehan, who wrote Father Ted, lives in Norfolk, of course, as well, doesn't he? He's got a gaff out there, trying to stand up for women's rights, and he's been absolutely destroyed. I think that's one of those areas where you don't want to get involved in the argument because people on either side won't accept you being 100% behind them. In something that needs to be very, very nuanced, they've turned it into a completely, ironically, binary situation. You're either with us or you're against us. It don't work that way, man. As we'll soon find out, as I read today somewhere, has decided that, is it America, have decided that male who have transitioned to female will be allowed to box against females. So we'll end up with a couple of people dying, and then at some point they'll go, ooh, this is not a good idea. If you're born a male, you've got an unnecessarily advantage in the ring, and we don't need that. Someone is going to end up absolutely wiped out. What channel? I don't know, I've seen it advertised the other day. See if I can find it. Is it on BritBox? No. Amazon Prime. It's on somewhere. I've seen it getting advertised the other day. Know what I mean, man? I'll find it. Oh, UK TV Play. Gold. Is it on Gold? Have a look on Gold. Have a look. Have a look on Gold. Tarpon are fish that also live in fresh water, but go to the deep sea to breed. Yee. Madman. I don't think they're called visons in English. I don't know what we call them. Well, I think just probably bison, isn't it? Or they might have a double, maybe called a visant bison or something. Bull sharks can live in fresh water and have been sighted, attacking crocodiles in rivers hundreds of miles from the ocean. I have seen that. I've seen them travelling up canals, haven't they? Into the middle of cities and just eating anything they can. Bull sharks are crazy things. They will literally eat anything, doesn't matter what it is, and they will attack. Just narky little bats. Well, not even little, they're massive, aren't they? Narky sods. Yep. They weren't called that, but we're going to start using it from now on. And if no one knows what it means, it's their fault, not ours. Visants all the way. Yeah, we don't have to worry about that. We don't have bull sharks. We've got other ones, though. Plenty of sharks around here. But I don't think they're quite as evil as the bull shark. What's the difference between a buffalo and a bison? Go on, Mandy. Finish it off. You can't wash your hands in a buffalo. Another dad joke there. Works perfectly well in a Brummie accent, doesn't it? Yeah, if you're in doubt about a word, just Dunglish it. We'll do with that. We'll work it out. I don't mind a bit of Dunglish. They're about 9 metres and we're seen in the Kruger Park. Man, that's proper heavy, that. That's massive. Yeah, you don't get a wash hand buffalo, do you? Right, I'm going to have to press more buttons. See if this works. I don't know if it will or not. Oh, hang on, no.
But Kipper's Vindaloo can't be good for you.
Kippers kicks ass.
Kipper's Corner. This one is something that I think I mentioned in one of the last streams. Here we go. Golden Lion. Martinique football team travels 8,000 miles to lose 12-0 at Lille in the French Cup. So we mentioned this about the team that come from Réunion. The football team from Martinique had to travel 8,000 mile round trip to play a cup tie in France. Golden Lion are the reigning champions on the island. With it being an overseas region of France in the Caribbean, they're one of several teams that play in the French Cup. And unfortunately drawn against Lille, which are a very, very good team in Ligue 1. So they got beat 12-0, conceding 7 goals before half-time, including 4 in 9 minutes towards the end of the first half. You would be gutted after all that, wouldn't you? Don't fancy the coach trip home.
Kippers kicks ass.
Imagine that, 4,000 miles there just to get beat 12-0 and have to go home for another 4,000 miles. You'd be absolutely devastated. A buffalo has ears below the horns and bisons are above them. Right, well, we'll have to bear that one in mind. I didn't know that one. Bizarro. Yeah, so is a carp's buffle closely related to the water buffles here that give the mozzarella. Carp's a buffle, I think, is going to be a Cape buffalo, isn't it? And water buffaloes that give the buffalo mozzarella. Adding some loan words to English, why not? 1 year Powerlines FC played Mamelodi Sundowns in your FA Cup and they lost 24-0. At least he turned up though, at least he tried. That's all part of the fun. Yep. Cape buffalo and water buffalo must be the same, or must be similar, closely related. They look similar. Seen both of them on documentaries, nature documentaries on BBC. Again, massive, just massive chunks of muscle. They must be horrible getting involved with them. Don't get in the way of one of them when they start charging. What's the biggest animal you guys have ever seen? What a good question that is. I don't know, I think it's probably going to have to be whales, I think. Some kind of whale. I know in Tenerife we were looking for blue whales. They're supposed to be around at that time, but nowhere to be seen, unfortunately. Would have loved to have seen one of them, but seen elephants. Seen killer whales, orca. I don't know. I'm presuming an orca is going to be bigger than an elephant. Or is it? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, go and check the dictionary, Barnesy. If visitors in there, write in and complain. We'll start this. We'll get that in there. The Cape buffalo can't be domesticated. It's just, yeah, it's too wild. Man, you've had 3 messages from Duolingo during that stream. Were they about parsnips by any chance? How's Owen doing? Is he alright? Helen said the silverback she wakes up with every day. Ah. Protective, you see. Protective silverbacks. They look after the ladies in their life, the lovely ladies. Don't mind him, do you, Helen? He's a good one. He's a good one, is our Steve. Seth, when you were in Hermanus, about an hour from Cape Town, you saw a blue whale in their calf. Wow. That must be amazing. Blue whales. I mean, they're difficult to see at the best of times, despite the fact that they are utterly huge. It is difficult to see them, though it's difficult to find them. I mean, they are massive, but the oceans are even bigger, so, you know. You saw an orca stuck in a harbour once. That's the biggest you've seen, Cass, but they are massive, them, aren't they? We've seen them at SeaWorld back in 1980 in San Diego. Shamu and Namu, and I wish we haven't seen the documentary Blackfin afterwards. But I think I've seen them in the wild as well. Massive things. The other week you saw humpbacks in Iceland. They're huge as well, aren't they? Man, the elephants and giraffes. I think we're going to struggle to find anything bigger than that around here, aren't we? Or anything that we can see ourselves anyway. Definitely bigger than the African bush elephant, yeah. They are huge. Saf, you encountered a tiger shark and a white shark while snorkeling. Both are about 2 meters long. Jeez. It's crazy, isn't it? Blue whale is the biggest animal that ever lived that we know of, yet. It is. There might have been things bigger than that. There might have been whales bigger and sharks bigger, like the in the prehistoric era. But for now, they are the biggest things, aren't they? And they are absolutely huge. They're still not the biggest living thing the planet's ever seen. I think the biggest one of those is a single fungus field, which is massive, and it's all interconnected and interlaced, apparently. That's the biggest living structure that the world's ever seen. Yeah, it's the biggest dolphin subspecies there is, the orca. It's not, it is a whale, but it's not a whale, it's more of a dolphin, isn't it? Yeah, have you ever seen QI? This is turning into QI. But Nothing wrong with that. A bit of I like the fact that we come up with interesting facts on this stream. I always walk away having learned a little bit more than I knew beforehand. Hermanus has a whale viewing festival every year. The mothers head back north and pass along the coast. That must be fantastic. Love to see that. Great minds, yes, Mandy and Steve, great minds indeed. That's what we like to see. Had a week you did cage diving with white sharks in South Africa and they were scary. No shit, Sherlock. Okay, now. You wouldn't get me on the boat, never mind in the water with them white sharks. Saf, you were on primary school, you rode an ostrich. What? Mad. Oh wait, you saw a stranded and dead humpback on a beach in Varda County on the west coast. Ugh. Yeah, there are huge sponges, bigger than the blue whales, but you know they're not classed as animals, but they are sort of living things. But I watched there was a programme on BBC4 about fungi, and one of the facts that was on there was the biggest living structure, the biggest living thing. It's not a giant redwood, it's not a blue whale, it was this huge, but it turned out to be like a field of fungi, but it was all interconnected, interlaced. It was one huge bit of fungus, and it went on for like stupid like football field after football field of this one fungus. Barney, you've seen it while you were pissed. It's probably the best thing to do, to be honest with you. Makes more sense that way. You almost forgot to surface for air. Jesus, I would as well. Oh, you got several dead whales on your beaches. Unfortunately, yeah, that'd be horrible to see that. An unfortunate consequence of living on the coast, isn't it? Seeing stuff like that. You have visions of Bernie Clifton for some reason. Yep. Have you ever seen the Inside Number 9 episode, Bernie Clifton's Dressing Room? That is a glorious episode of TV. Fantastic. Yeah, Bernie Clifton on his bouncing around on his ostrich, his emu. Just noticing the time, we are very, very quickly going to have to go and see our mate, aren't we? R.H. R. Horace. 2024, my New Year's resolution, eat more marmalade. Hoo-yah! Horace, the bears actually eat marmalade. I thought it was a piss take. I thought it was just something that Paddington was made up with. Or is Big Marmalade trying to interject on my stream? Are you doing it for them? Oh, you're going to send a pic to the RDA? Humpback breached itself. Oh, that was your first story published? Oh. A field of fungi called a rave. It should be, shouldn't it? As I'm sure plenty of raves have been full of people on mushrooms. Yeah, Casper, great episode. It is fantastic, that, really. And especially if you know the British culture, TV culture of the 70s and 80s. It's absolutely bang on as well. Yep, Horace, it is a good resolution. He's I think he's trying to roll back from his time with Jeff being evil. Bears eat anything. He does need a hat as well. They are omnivorous. It is Big Marmalade. You've got to watch out for Big Marmalade. They will get in anywhere. Is Horace a Big Marmalade lobbyist? Is that what he's trying to do now? Trying to turn people onto Super Marmalade. Says a lot about the double act humour of the 70s. It does, it absolutely nails it. The likes of Little and Large, Cannonball, all those 70s and 80s double acts. And it's such a poignant episode as well. I think it's a fantastic thing. Well written, well acted, well researched, well thought out. It is one of those episodes of a TV show where I always, there's a little bit of a tear starting to shed. The same as the Queen of Sheba, the royal family, when Nana dies. When you watch a TV show for such a long time and you start to get invested in the characters and the people, you know, it's Mad the way TV can do that for you, isn't it? Can make you laugh and then make you teary at the same time. Alright, so the tide moved out and he couldn't get it back to its mother, so they used explosives to kill it. Oof. Ouchie. Yeah, Callan is Big Marmalade. We have to watch him. He's involved with them. He's in bed with Big Marmalade. He's a marmalade magnet. You got close to the operation, had to pick whale blubber out your hair for a long time. Did it feel better? Did it feel shiny, glossy? Was it better? Is dead whale what we all need for our hair? With a cameo from Sian Gibson, yes, she was in that as well. Another fantastic actress. Mad that I seen her in Phoenix Nights all those years ago in a very, very small bit part. And then all of a sudden she's in Car Share and just appearing and stuff constantly. Yeah, Callan's got wholesale marmalade. Before we know it, he had the monopoly. But it's nice to see someone doing well. Speaking of which, why is there only one Monopoly's commission? Why is there an S in the word lisp? Why are there 3 T's in the word stutter? These people are evil who are doing this. Steve, you cry at the drop of a hat. Well, I'll make sure it stays on. When you're watching TV, you're a big teddy bear. We know that. We know you are, mate. Nothing wrong with that at all. We like that. Everyone needs a big old teddy bear. I mean, you know. You are Kippers incarnate. Only not evil. Because that little bastard is over there. No ambergris. So you be a millionaire, alright. The only thing you remember your ears were ringing for 2 days because of the explosion. Sort of felt like you'd been to a gig, a Metallica gig from earlier on. Yeah. Thought you were a dumpling, a big old teddy bear and dumpling. Oh no. I think we'll go with the teddy bear because it's much nicer, isn't it? As much as we love dumplings, I think teddy bears are cuddlier. We'll go with that. Did they stuff it in its blowhole, Saf? Yep. That'd be a way to go, wouldn't it? A whale being fucking probed on the beach. Those poor things. There was a couple, wasn't there, in the Thames a few years ago. Mandy's bullying you and you started crying. I hope you're satisfied, Mandy. Terrible behaviour. Stop being so naughty. Naughty bad villain. Otherwise Jeff will start texting you or something, only trying to get you on side with him. With his evilness. Oh man, oh, doggies are awake. So it is getting close, isn't it? It's pee time and it's also close for me time. We are getting there. You always know when the dogs start needing to go and stretch their, well, legs and things. Just open up my Ujima flipper here. So to see what's going on. Yep. Dankjewel, Hadwig. Het was indeed gezellig. Enjoy your walk. Happy peeing to the dogs and veel te rusten for later. Alright, they put the charge on its head and the NSRI guys on boats had to chase the mumfire out to sea to shield her from the event. Ugh. Me dogs are barking means something completely different down south. Yep. Sore feet, me dogs are barking. Yeah, but it is, it's that time of night, isn't it? I need to go and put my feet up, I think. Have a couple of glasses of alcohol-free red wine. I deserve it. I don't think I'm taxi dadding. I'm sure my daughter said she's not going anywhere tonight. So I can just go and get on the sofa and chill for a bit. And probably fall asleep for 5 minutes as well for some strange reason. I don't know why that's happening lately. It's bizarre, isn't it? Why am I so tired? I haven't done anything. I haven't even been for a walk the last 2 days. It's bang out of order. Bang out of order. But I'll get there, I suppose, won't I? I'll have to start walking a bit more, I think. So if you're going to get into bed now, mate, thank you very much. And you sleep well and stay safe yourself as well, mate. I'll see you soon. Yep. I think we're at that point now where it is almost time, isn't it? It is that time. It's time for...
That's all we've got time for this evening, so it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him. Good night.
Good night.